Okay, I'm back, and you are watching Esoteric-Truth Radio, and I'm your host, Trinity. Trigger warning: if you are uncomfortable with these types of situations, or this is too heavy for you, by all means, please, you do not have to watch this. Or if you do watch it in small increments, or the way that it would be okay for you. I know that everybody's already being flooded with these files, so this is just, I just don't want this to add on, because I know it weighs on me. I'm going to continue reading the article. So one former top-level Pentagon officer said that for the past 8 years, military and civilian intelligence authorities have been concerned that a, quote, nest of people at top levels of the Reagan administration may have been penetrated by Soviet-backed espionage agents. Does this not sound familiar? They were posing as escorts. They were posing as escorts in order to get dirt. Think about that for a minute. Who else is going through that? What other story have you heard recently that sounds like that? Exactly like that. Okay, I'm just going to keep reading. A major concern said, concern said the former officials with longtime ties to top-ranking military intelligence officers was that hostile former intelligence services were using young male escorts to compromise top administration people, thus making them subject to blackmail. Is that not what's happening right now? This is the whole thing. I'm reading from the 80s. This was out. This was out there. They covered it up afterwards, of course. But again, this is why I do this content. So you have a clear understanding that it should feel super weird that I'm reading this. It should be super weird that this is the exact same thing. I'm going to keep going. Quote, we have known for many, many years that there is a department of the KGB whose job is it to prey on deviants, and it's using the word deviants, former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Because closet, quote, persons that prefer the same type of people, I'm really trying to be careful, in government service can easily be turned through blackmail for espionage purposes. Quote, we have always in intelligence try hard not to give classified information to known, how am I going to say that? Known people that date the same sex. There you go. That they don't give them anything. That they knew for years this was happening. And so they'll have like 10 people in office, right? And they'll find out their backgrounds. They weren't just doing regular background checks. They wanted to know who you were going to bed with, what were you doing on the side. And if they realized or they found out in any way that you like being in same sex relationships, they wouldn't tell you anything. They wouldn't tell you anything because they felt like you couldn't be trusted, because they were fully aware that agents from other countries were actually perpetrating in the inside. If you listen to the last one, you could hear how close these people were to everything on the highest levels, just like it's happening today. Those interviewed by the Times confirmed that they were blackmail attempts by male escorts who wanted money and other favors to protect clients and their secret lives. The clients interviewed on February 2nd, police raid on a house at 34th Street, I'm not going to give the address, was set off by reports of blackmail and possible credit card fraud and complaints by district hotel operators about an escort ring. In the raid, spearheaded by the Washington field office at the Secret Service, authorities found a telephone switchboard operation serving a half dozen escort services. Not a half dozen people, a half dozen services. They had an entire switchboard dedicated to this. The operators that worked there only did this. Secret Service agents and District Police Vice Investigations confiscated financial records as well as ledgers, photos, diaries, telephone records, Rolodexes, you know, this shit is old, and client lists of the network during the raid and subsequent subpoenas issued by the Superior Court. Although the confiscated material was turned over to district police on the scene, witnesses and law enforcement agencies say the Secret Service kept one box of files containing names and other information about high-level government officials who were clients of the escort business. I'm reading it, and it's not like I haven't done a show about this years and years and years ago. Just me saying it right now and knowing this is exactly what's happening is infuriating as hell. This is exactly the same thing. Okay, I gotta stop saying that. Anyway. So it says district police officials saying that to their knowledge, this is the first time the Secret Service has ever become involved in such a raid. Ever. They're like, since the history of never have they gotten involved, where they're actually taking evidence and confiscating it. Initially, the Secret Service denied it was involved in the raid. But after a second raid on the same place, on May the 18th, the agency acknowledged its involvement in the investigation. Secret Service spokesman said the agency participated in the search and seizure operation because of its jurisdiction over credit card fraud. You think that that's why they were for credit card fraud? Quote, we come into such operations usually at the request of the U.S. Attorney if the fraud involves $10,000 or more. We are not involved in any local ring investigation. Pam Bondi? Anybody? Patel? No? Bongino? Nobody? Yeah. Witness to the February raid said 12 Secret Service agents in blue parkas entered the house and spent several hours collecting and removing boxes of files. Federal and district investigators have since interrogated several escorts working for the ring as well as clients of the same-sex escort services, operating under such names as Jovan, Man to Man, Metro Date, Ultimate Models, and Ultimate First Class. In addition to the credit card fraud, the investigation is said to be focused on illegal interstate prostitution, abduction, and use of minors for stuff, extortion, larceny, and related illicit drug trafficking and use of escorts and their clients. Okay. Again, the article is almost over. Even though the information that came out, this is a connect to, I want to say 3 major cases that happened after this that, again, nobody ever talks about. But they've been, this is all, okay, put it this way. Remember how we just hearing that there's like these millions of things? I think this is stuff is added. I think the stuff that was taken in these investigations from like 30, 40, 50 years ago, I think all of that's in there. There's no way since the late 80s, early 90s, they accrued 3 million pieces of information. I think what they stumbled across was everything. I think they walked into everything. And they didn't mean to. Like, it kind of got added. I think that behind the scenes, I think there's whistleblowers behind the scenes that are kind of accidentally putting this kind of stuff out, because that's the only thing that makes sense. How did Epstein get 3 million? No, I'm sorry, I think it's 6, and they only released 3. Who does that? How many people, how many transactions would have had to happen to accrue that many pieces of information? I think the videos, I think the photos, I think the paperwork, the paper trail, the money trail, the espionage, all of it. I think all of it is in those files. I think the 3 million they're putting out, I think it's going to be a while before we get anything else. That might be the more recent stuff. They can't go this far back. Could you imagine if they're telling the American people that they've been sitting on this always. It's like this dude's gonna come out and talk about aliens in a few months. This is serious. This is serious. And it just doesn't seem to stop. And like I said, I think it's because they don't tell us. I mean, the information is out there. Nobody's going to look for it. I saw maybe a couple of articles that came out in 2004 and 2005. Very obscure, not in detail. Like, they didn't even really go to the original articles like this. I'm going to come back. I am going to finish this article. I'm already thirsty as hell. I think I'm just going to keep on going because this is way too important. And like I said, I don't think I could do this. I think I'm just going to like get it out of the way and not have to discuss it again. Unless you guys go in the comments and say something and maybe you guys could talk amongst each other and I'll jump in. But I want to kind of just get this out so it's just out of the way. The other incidents that happened after that, like the McMartin trial, is kind of tied to the theory of Pizzagate. That shit's stupid old. And when I give you that information, you're going to be like, holy crap. QAnon's not new. None of it is new. None of it. This will be easier to consume when you start realizing that all of this stuff's on purpose. It's on purpose. This isn't an accident. This isn't something they just kind of figured out or something they just started doing when this Cheeto came down the elevator. No, we're way, way past that. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some water. When I come back, we're going to finish the rest of this. I am putting some more of the names out. A lot of these people either passed away, nobody knows where they are, or they unalived themselves in some way, the way that Epstein did in jail. So come back. We're going to finish covering this, and we're going to talk about what happened in Nebraska, because it's not even in here just yet. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Go take a minute, go relax, come back later. I'll see you.